Now let's head to Parliament now, because as the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta prepares to present the 2018 mid-year budget review, members of Parliament are requesting the inclusion of a detailed presentation on how the depreciating cedi can be arrested. They're demanding specific measures on how the currency can be kept stable at least. Currently, the cedi stands at 4 cedi 81 peso to $1. Let's listen to members of the Finance Committee, Matthew Nyindam and Kissel Atuforsen.
It's a developing economy. We've talked about so many things. We are aiming at production. And until we begin to do more of exports than we are doing the imports, our economy will still suffer.
So
are you getting
like
me?
A long-term plan.
It's not, obviously some of the knee-jerk approach that they took when they were in opposition, like don't go, if you bank in dollars, don't go and take it in dollars. They should give you cedi equivalent unless you have genuine reasons you are traveling outside. All those things, they are knee-jerk approach. It doesn't solve the problem. I don't expect Ken Ofori-Atta and Baumia to come out with those things. No, but there are certain fundamental things that Ken will come and tell you that, look, these are the measures I'm putting in place to make sure that our cedi becomes stronger.
The short-term solution is that the government must signal what you call confidence to investor community. Why are we not going on a roadshow immediately to talk to investors, that give them assurances that the currency is going to be stable, and for that matter, they should not repatriate? Why don't you give them a better rate in a way that they will stay in? Why don't you engage them? I think that for me is the silver bullet, that in the meantime, I expect the central bank, the Ministry of Finance to come up together. They know the investors who are exiting, and talk to them.
Let's go live to Parliament and speak to parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gapo. Hello, Joseph. Joseph, can you hear me?
Good afternoon to you.
Very well. Joseph, we've heard some of the minority members of Parliament there speaking about what their expectations are for tomorrow. What else have they been saying?
So there's been a conversation around the road sector, for example. Again, the minority expects that at least there is the deliberate effort to fund various road projects that have been suspended following the taking over of the NPP administration. The ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee, Kwame Abuja, for example, is specific that when you look at allocation to the road sector for this year in the original budget, which was around 500 billion cedis, it's not enough. If they're able to do the work that needs to be done, they'll need like 1.2 billion cedis. And so he expects the finance minister to address that bit of it. The conversation around the National Health Insurance Scheme has also been topical. I've been speaking to the vice chairman of the committee, the Health Committee in Parliament, Dr. Ahigwa Friye, who is backing suggestions that there is an increment on the NHIL by 1% in order to support the National Health Insurance Scheme, something that those on the minority side, like Dr. Robert Conlev, who is the deputy ranking on the Health Committee, they are objecting to that. They think there's a level of weight at the level of the NHIS. And so there's a need for them to be asked to better use the monies that they have. So it's just mixed expectations. The majority expects that the budget will spell a situation where there will be further development when it comes to the economy generally, but the minority thinks we can expect to.
Well, Joseph, thank you very much for that update, because we can hear from the Deputy Health Minister Kingsley Abuaji-Jedu, who is saying that the ministry backs demands by the NHIS for increased funding, including 1% additional health insurance levy, more taxes, and higher contribution by employers.
We need 1 percentage point increment in the NHIL. We also propose several other taxes, including what some people call sin tax. We also propose that the UNI workers should contribute 1 percentage points of our monthly SSF, that's the Social Security contribution, and then the employer will contribute about 3 or so to make it 4, so that we can have a secured source of funding for the NHI.
The National and Commercial Workers Union, they've kicked against it. They say they are not ready to pay more.
Well, it is one out of several unions. And I believe that when Parliament is making laws, people who are interested have the liberty or the opportunity to express their opinion. it is the majority that carries the vote. So if it is within their right to raise an objection. But if majority of the trade unions, agree with us, and Parliament, we have majority, it goes through, it becomes law, and it's binding on all of us.
Deputy Health Minister Mr. Jedu there.